and jump right in. What game you want to cover first?
Man, going to the city.
Let's go to the city.
Kansas City, here I
was thinking
come.
about this.
Kansas City and Denver,
Bronx,
bro. Man.
Underestimated Broncos. Slept on Broncos.
Slept on Broncos, man. They pulled it off. 22-19. Very defensive game. But I tell you, this was interesting. Bo Nix's second season. Here's the thing that I want a lot of people to understand. Sean Payton, it comes from a arsenal of a quarterback in Drew Brees, out there in New Orleans, where he nurtured and groomed him in his system for many, many years. Yeah. That's why Drew Brees was always such a successful 4,500 passer like almost every season. That's what he averaged, for sure. Because he got into 5,000, I think, maybe a couple times. Point being, that's a lot of yards. Getting to about 3,500 yards is a successful year, but to get to 4,000 plus is amazing to me.
For sure.
Anyways, though, for him to be able to master that offense to the best of his ability and to grasp this much information, because it's a very complicated offense. It has a lot of bells and whistles. And for him to do what he's doing, they're sitting at 8-2 now, or 9-2, I believe now. That's a big deal, because the thing is their defense is doing what they need to do. And although the game may look a little boring on the offensive side, they find ways to make explosive plays. I was thinking in the game, you had Cortland Sutton on that last drive. They caught a big pass. And who else was it? Somebody else that caught a really, really big pass at that time. But anyways, though. Who was it?
Wasn't T. Franklin.
It was Franklin, I think, wasn't it?
I don't believe.
It was too solid, right? Yeah, it was Franklin that caught the second pass that set them up for a field goal, and then Will Lutz, walk-off field goal, bada bing, bada boom. But when you're looking at a team that's kind of primed for playoff, because we are legitimately in the meat and potatoes of the season, where everyone's fighting to get into a solid playoff position, Denver looks strong, man. What you think?
1,000%. I mean, I think people need to stop sleeping on them. They're one of those teams kind of alongside with the Carolina Panthers. They'll get you.
Yes.
They'll get you. If you come in there and you don't got your chin buckle strapped. That's what the coach used to say. You ain't got your chin buckle strapped up tight.
Man.
They'll knock your black off, right? So they're one of those teams, man. And we're just seeing them. They're kind of slowly becoming the giant killer. It's Tampa Bay there for a minute, but Tampa Bay has been consistent enough to where we got respect on their name. But Broncos is slowly but surely taking that respect. We here, kind of like Indianapolis. We here. You're going to respect what we got going on. They got some weapons. And I like the fact that they have a young team, but they have an old school coaching system and coaching dynamic that you can tell is really bringing a lot of maturity and growth to those young players, because they don't play like a young team. The way that they fight back after they have a little bit of a deficit in the game, the way that they rally, and they don't stop fighting until the last second on that clock. You can't count them out until the last second, because they have that belief and they have that fight, and they're going to fight you all the way until the whistle blows. And I respect that a lot. So whatever's going on over there, with Sean Payton, he's obviously got a good thing going. They seem to be really taking really good direction to his leadership. So good things going on out there, man. I hope they keep it rolling. Harvey, they got a good running back. They got some solid receivers. That defense has been stout. KC, I don't. It's hard to assess the teams that play against the Broncos, because it's really still too premature if it's really just the Broncos are that talented, or did they just not truly come in as prepared for the Broncos to be that talented? It's like, are they really just that much better than you? Or are you just underestimating them and they're better than you thought they were and you ran out of time, right, to adjust? So the verdict for me is still there. I'm still trying to see, okay, wait till we get to the playoffs. I want to see if the Broncos are really like that, when they're going against top contenders, bringing that A game, when it's like all for nothing. Or are these teams just kind of treating them like, it's the Broncos, and then they're getting unpleasantly surprised once they get to the back end of that second half, like, whoa, are we finna get beat by the Broncos?
Yeah.
You about to get beat by the Broncos, for sure.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this, it got to be the preparation of Denver, and I have to give credit to the coaching staff, because they've clearly put their players in position to be successful and to be able to understand how to close out a game, because There's one thing to win games. It's another thing whenever you're in a dogfight and then you're having to close out games. And that's something they've done because just like like in that game, I was thinking there wasn't a touchdown until I think the end of the third quarter with about 3 minutes and 45 seconds left, somewhere around there, in the third quarter. And that's whenever Denver finally scored. But it was a field goal game back to back, so that's letting me know their defense clearly is good. I've seen Patrick Mahomes make some explosive plays. Travis Kelce, matter of fact, Travis Kelce, I believe in this game he now has 84 career receiving touchdowns, which leads all of Chiefs franchise in receiving touchdowns. Yeah. So I mean, clearly the production is there when it comes to Kansas City showing who they are. But I think Denver really is taking a step. But to your point, we'll see because playoffs is a different animal, it's a different light. At least 2 games, probably a film in that season has been made on you. So that third preparation game going to playoffs, you're right, it's definitely a chess match. So yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. What do you want to swing it over to next?
Man, well, one team is creative that I'm about to speak on, and the other team is just finds ways to win. Let's talk about Detroit and Philly.
Oh yeah,
Detroit and Philly, man. I'll tell you this, from my take, from what I've seen, you have an explosive team in Detroit that can make very explosive plays. I think the leading receiver in that game was the running back Jamar Gibbs. 5 receptions for 170 yards and a TD. You had Jameson Williams, so much speed going off. Jared Goff throwing for 255 yards. You would think from that stat line that they would win. Score ended up being 9-22 in favor of Philly. And I was thinking Jalen Hurts had 135 yards passing. I don't know how he does it, but he finds ways to make big plays on like third down conversion. Yeah. And we talked about this last week, between third down conversion and tush push, Philly finds ways to win, bro.
They're going to find a way to get you.
They're going to find a way to get you.
They're going to get you.
Yeah,
it's going to be a grind out, slow, beat you down, get to the third, pray. Oh, they convert the chains. Dang, slow grind out. Like, those are the games you lose and don't know how, because the other team just managed and maintained the ball for so long. They just wear you out, man.
Yeah.
They wear you out. They wear you out because you're playing good defense. You just can't quite stop them from moving them chains. They have too many weapons that can move the chains.
Yeah.
And then the defense can come out and stop you. You know what I'm saying? So I knew immediately when I saw that they were playing, I said, it's going to be a defensive game. I know immediately we think off top, offensive game, right? 2 powerful offenses. But I'm looking at 2 powerful teams. You know what I mean? It's different if we're talking about the Bengals going against the Cowboys, right? 2 struggling defenses, 2 powerful offenses. But we're talking about 2 strong teams.
Yes.
Right? That have 2 strong defenses.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, this is going to be a defensive game, slow, low-scoring game. I don't know why that is. It's just the way that it is. And you also play up to your competition. And so when a contender's playing another contender that they might see in the playoffs, this is where you get your measuring stick.
Yeah, it is.
So as a team, when you're trying to see where you're at and how you're going to contend and where you truly stand in the rankings of, can we really repeat this thing? Well, this is one of the things we got to get through. So you go to sleep early on that one. You know what I mean? Yes. You drink your juice in the morning on that one. Yeah. You ain't playing around up late on that. Yeah, you got them boys in town. So I think it's just a hard-fought defensive game, man. And you can't do nothing with speed. Jamar Gibbs and J-Mo, they're going to – speed shines in these tough, hard-nosed games because you got man for man.
They got speed and lots of
man for man, right. And so it's going to be those guys that have that different gear that really, get magnified in tough, close-fought games like this. It's going to be those guys with the different gear. So, yeah, J-Mo and Jameer got off. But that was about it, man. Nobody else really just put up big numbers on either side of the ball. The kickers. Kudos to the kickers.
Kudos to the kickers. I mean, that's why you have them.
You got them, man.
That's why you got them, because kickers don't get enough credit when it comes to their consistency, their composure, and to be able to allow for a team to win, because they're the difference between a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl loss. So at the end of the day, their value is just as important as everyone else. And you was talking about how 2 great defenses that are potential NFL Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
2 teams that possibly may have to see each other first, second round, or maybe in the NFC Championship game. Them type of situations where you find out who you are, it is a big deal right now for both teams, but most importantly for Philly. They're showing that they truly are the defending Super Bowl champs, and it wasn't just like they don't have no Super Bowl hiatus. They are learning on the fly. You also got to remember they're still doing this with a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
like Jalen Hurts is finding ways with a new offensive coordinator. I mean, yeah,
to still with the dub. That's the dangerous part. They let them ramp up in comfort and confidence with the offense through the season, to where in the playoffs they kind of got it rolling.
yes,
And they let them get these close dubs during the regular season. That's what really bridges the gap for making them so dominant. Because if they would lose some of these close games, then you know what I mean. It's a little bit different. But the fact that they still squeak them out, it's kind of the way Casey got healthy.
Yeah,
it's like they're still squeaking out these dubs while they're still getting healthy, and so we're scrutinizing them for squeaking out these wins. But it's like you don't see what's going over there in the back end.
man.
You don't see the fact that people don't think about that. It's another offensive coordinator, first year.
Man,
dang, I didn't think about that either. Like it takes time for that to gel. You gotta let that marinate.
You gotta let it marinate. And when I think about think about Saquon Barkley, he still had flashes in that game. I think he still ended with I think around 82 yards or so, 80 yards or something like that rushing. But the point being is he found ways to make explosive plays to continue to keep moving the chains to even set up for these field goals.
Right.
And then Jalen Hurts making the key passes to Devontae Smith coming out of their own red zone just to keep the chains moving. Those plays sometimes they can get easily shadowed over just a big explosive touchdown and stuff because
for sure
that still allows for defense to catch their breath and be as dominant as they always been.
You need to be able to do that.
Yeah, man.
You gotta be able to catch your breath.
You gotta be able to catch your breath, bro. I'm telling you.
You gotta be able to catch your breath.
Yep.
Shoot.
Especially this time of the season, whenever players are a little bit more beat up than what they were. Players are trying to get healthy to continue on a consistent pace.
I'm going to say something about the Eagles. There's a lot of noise going around about A.J. Brown not being satisfied with the targets. I don't know if that's actual true noise in the locker room or if that's just the media creating stir, right? Whatever, or creating attention, for the Eagles. But either way it goes, I wish you would see players embrace the moment a little bit more. Because we see guys who get a lot of targets and who are fantasy champions, and they have individual accolades for a long time, and then they get upset because they're not winning. And then comes contractual negotiations. Oh, well, I want to win. It ain't just really all about me. Then you go to other places where they're winning, but the guy's not getting all the targets. And then they're saying, well, I want a little bit more involvement. I want a little bit more action. And for me, it's like, okay, if we've seen that over the history of time. When is somebody going to sit back and just enjoy the moment, right? Enjoy the moment of winning. If you're in the position where you can win for 2, 3, 4 years, win. Be sacrificial.
A.J. Brown came from Tennessee, right?
Do what you got to do to win and create a dynasty and maybe get 2, 3 rings. See what I'm saying? And then, probably because you didn't put all that mileage on your body, maybe you got an extra 2, 3 years extended at the end of your career, barring any crazy injury, to where now maybe you could be traded somewhere else and go be the man, one-on-one somewhere else. Or you can spend kind of the back end after you got your champions, with your collective group of guys. After you've gotten that those accolades of winning out the way, maybe now, you go and you chase individual achievements. But you'd like to see guys embrace more the overall vision a little bit more when they got a good thing going. Because it's not easy to win a Super Bowl.
Not at all.
A lot of Hall of Fame talents that kicking themselves for their whole life because they had the opportunity to win a Super Bowl and didn't. And couldn't. So anyways.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that in the pot with that whole conversation that's going on.
He went to Tennessee, right?
I don't know.
He came from Tennessee Titans.
Okay. Yeah. He came from Tennessee Titans.
So, to your point about that winning, you would think so that would kind of be there a little bit more because, I guess whenever you were saying that, made me kind of think about Justin Jefferson. Yeah. I'm about to swing it over to there in a minute, but Justin Jefferson, I think about yesterday whenever they played, I believe it was the Rams they played. No, it wasn't the Rams they played. They played, actually, I forgot who they played. I'm tripping. They played somebody yesterday that was really, really key.
Who, Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Chicago.
Tripping. It was Chicago.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about whenever Justin Jefferson, he wasn't getting the ball that much in that game, but his his run blocking was absolutely phenomenal to be able to set them up for touchdown. That kind of stuff, not knocking AJ Brown, but it's the fact that doing that stuff with gratitude is literally how it's going to kind of open you up to be able to get the ball more. But I guess that there is a gift and a curse when you start winning. You almost forget what losing feels like.
You forget what it feels like to be trapped on a team to where Super Bowl is so far out of sight, and your contract, you just still got the ink drying on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you forget what that position feels like, to where now you're in a position, you're on a team, you're getting paid the money, you're winning, whether you're squeaking out games, but you're going to compete for championships. More than not, almost 50% of the time, you guys are in the Super Bowl the past 3-4 years. Like, you can't take that for granted. And if that comes with a little bit less attention being shined on you because it's so much talent to go around to be fed, then ride that out for a couple years.
Yeah.
Let me collect another ring so that I can go sit back and know that I'm a 2-3 time champion when I hang them up. Because I spent 5-6 years to be a team player, to be a part of this team, and then maybe get traded to, I don't know, freaking Atlanta. I don't care where you go. Maybe after that, you handpick. You handpick the team and the quarterback you want to go play for. You handpick a team that's maybe not Super Bowl contenders, but got a quarterback who can sling it, and that's the target's waiting on you. Maybe then, I just wish we see guys do that a little bit more, especially when they got the bag.
Yeah.
Especially when they got the bag. Keep the team culture intact. Win some more.
Mm-hmm.
Be a dynasty.
Yeah, no.
Win.
Win.
And then you got time, man. You got time. But anyhow, so speaking of Minnesota and Chicago,
yes,
that was a hell of a game, man. Shout out to the Chicago Bears. They've had some hard-fought victories, and what I will say is these are a lot of games that they have lost over the past few seasons. Generally, they fight hard and scrap, and they find a way to mishandle the clock and the game and the ball and whatever to lose the game. And so it's good to see them, some of these up and coming franchises, really finding their pace again. Getting together a good formula of components to start out cranking out some of these dubs. Shout out to Chicago figuring out a way to win. Caleb Williams looks like he's taking a step with making more accurate, well-thrown decisions. Right? We saw last year it was moments to where he get out that pocket and find a guy and put it right on the money in motion. You're like, wow, okay, that takes talent. But now we're seeing it a little bit more consistent. So he's starting to find his sway. What did you call him, Houdini?
Yeah, he's starting to understand his own.
He's starting to figure out his game within the NFL.
Yes.
Right? He started to get a little bit more confident and comfortable within the scheme of the offense that they're running, and you can tell. And guys are getting peppered the ball. So he's getting the ball out. I like the fact that their offense is using the running game. They're using DeAndre Swift. They're using the long guy. They're getting runners active so that can open up the passing and create a better balance on the offense. Defense is doing what they need to do. Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy's come back. I think J.J. McCarthy looks good. He's a competitor. He's going to have these growing pains. He's going to have these rookie games. There's going to be moments to where he makes decisions and you're like, all right. He probably wish he had that back.
Yeah.
But Minnesota definitely has some talent. So I'm not counting them out. But it was a hard-fought game on their end. Aaron Jones came back. He looked good for them. If he stays healthy, I think he is such an important piece to that offense being successful, to be honest. Just his change of pace, and he comes at the right time. He's like energy in a bottle. As soon as the ball hits his hands, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like a roller coaster ride for just a moment in time. And I think they need that. When he's not on the field, you definitely can tell a difference of how that offense runs and rolls. So, hopefully they figure out how to get the ball in Justin's hands more consistently and help out J.J. McCarthy a little bit, get more comfortable. But they fought hard, man. I mean, they were close to pulling it out. So.
Yeah, because I was about to say, man, like one thing that has been impressing me with Chicago the last two games is their defense, their corners.
Yeah.
The corners are lockdown corners, and they're starting to believe more on that defensive side of the football, and that's making the offense be efficient, but do just enough to be able to stay creative and to be able to put some type of points on offense.
Big time.
Because I'll say Caleb Williams is making big plays, but the biggest thing that I like is his mentality shifting. And that's the one thing I think about his mentality shifting. I saw his face whenever they kicked that field goal. His face.
I like that.
Let me know everything. Yep. He said, okay.
Yep.
He said, I'm starting to understand. We got work to do, but I'm starting to get it. And although like this was a win, I can really tell the trajectory of where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
But we still got to stay locked in because we did this and we made a lot of mistakes, but we still found ways to win.
Yeah,
we was creative on special teams and we was creative on making turnovers on defense. And I still played my part on offense, but we can be even more explosive on offense. But we're still cracking the code. And you're seeing right now a team that is a sneaky 7-3.
Sneaky.
And just like that, I got to check the numbers, but I think they're sitting on top of their division right now. And that's a big deal in the NFL. It's already hard enough to just win games.
It is hard enough to win games.
It is. Like every game is like it's a tussle. So no matter if you're playing a team that's 2-7 or freaking 9-2, they're both going to give you their best every single Sunday because players got to play for their whole contract. It's a job out there. If I can get cut or I can lose my job position, now I can't get no bonus because I had to create numbers to get the numbers.
Facts.
But yeah, it's a lot to it, man. Hats off to them. Hats off to them doing their thing, and we'll see how the development of his second year, how it continues to keep growing because that defense is ready.
They're ready. I think there are a couple more pieces on that front court. Woo! If they keep building upon it, which I think is what the goal is. So it's good to see that they're having this amount of success right now. Right, they just got the new coach in there. Caleb's in his second year. They got some young receivers. They got some young pieces. So it's good to see that they're having success with those pieces now. Shows gives a lot of confidence for the future and what's to come. Where you want to swing it to next?
Well, let's talk about 49ers in Arizona.
Okay.
Talk about them a little bit,
Mr. Purdy came back.
Brock Purdy came back. I believe 19 for 26, 3 TDs. Eesh. It was really the setup of Sky Moore running a 98-yard kick return back where low-key almost looked like he was about to score on that kick return.
That thing back,
you know what I mean? But one of the players for Arizona caught him on the other side of the field. Good angle. It
was a good angle.
It's a good angle because he
had
to go all the way across. So if he'd have went this way, he would have been gone, but he cut all the way across. He pretty much went straight to the pylon to catch him.
That's how you got to do it. Because I was looking at the way he angled, see if he could have took a different angle and maybe got there. No, I mean, he did what he could as far as the reads. The guy he took the right angle.
Took the right angle, man. But that set up Brock Purdy, in the first, that 1st and 10 on the 2-yard line, that set up for a Christian McCaffrey touchdown, which is good for both of them. One, because Brock Purdy's been injured. So for him to come back and to set the tone of the game like that, and he's the actual leader of the team, that is a spark plug. That is a complete chemical reaction of positivity to the whole team because we set the tone not only with kick return with our special teams, so now we know our special team is confident going into the rest of all the quarters, but now our offense is confident. So now defense, y'all are confident. It's just a complete shift of being confident at the beginning to set the tone. And as a result, they just kept putting up points. They just kept putting up points throughout the game. They allowed for the defense for Arizona to make their turnovers or for their offense to make their turnovers. So, when you have momentum at the beginning of the game and you keep that momentum, you hold that momentum, that just changes everything.
Yeah, man.
It changes everything, man. I think we have a complete ignite of a different football team going forward to sitting at a sneaky 7-4 themselves.
Ooh.
49ers.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially because Mac was able to come in and do what he did.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When you got a guy that's a backup quarterback, but that's taking it like he's a number one because he's been a number one before.
Mac.
Come in with that number one energy.
Mac Jones.
Put up some number one level dubs with less, with a better than Bruce team with banged up components. Still be able to come in and hold down the helm, hold down the reins, convert a lot of those games to victories. so that when Brock gets back, now they got some momentum. Now they're not fighting themselves out of a hole. Now they can just jump on and continue to push and go a little bit harder, pick up the pace because they got all the pieces together. Yeah. 49ers look good, man. And anytime that defense is as strong as theirs is, you got to watch out. You got to watch out.
You do.
You got to watch out. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, hey, their coach, man, he clearly is knowing. Coach Shanahan, he's clearly knowing what to do with whatever talent that he has, and he literally makes his offense. It's predicated around what type of personnel he has. That is one thing that he's been doing in his career as a coach, whether it's as an offensive coordinator, as a head coach, that's made him different than most coaches in the NFL. Whenever you have a coach that plays to the player's strengths, it makes a difference. Now you make yourself where you have 2 starting quarterbacks.
1,000%.
Let's make a playoff push. We got 2 starters. If everybody else stays healthy, don't matter quarterback position. We got 2 dogs. You're going to have to prepare for both of them. Period. I got 2 guns, 1 for each of you. Huh? Like Tombstone. That's what Coach Shanahan got with Brock Purdy and Mac Jones, just in case. I got 2 guns, 1 for each of you. Huh? I love it, bro.
You can have whatever you want. Any way you want it.
Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, man.
Did you want to hear something else before we get out of here?
You know what? We can hit one more real quick. Seattle and the Rams, bro. Seattle got such a good team sitting at 7-2 versus the Rams, who were also sitting at 7-2. I love that game, man. What I like is I like the fact, when I was thinking about the Rams, I like the fact seeing Puka Nacua being efficient from game to game, taking a little pressure off of Matt Stafford. Their special teams doing really well. Their running back was in Kyler Williams, toting that pill real well. 12 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, when you have leadership on the offensive side, you have a great defense. I mean, Sean McVay's been doing his thing. Here's the thing that separates this game. If we just want to get down to it. Nothing really special happened on the offensive side with the LA Rams. They just stay consistent. They've been doing the same thing all year when it comes to getting the ball into their playmakers' hands. Just keep it simple. Here's the thing. Clearly, their defense studied film because, I was thinking Sam Darnold had 4 interceptions that game. The game was 19-21, field goal walk-off. That's cool. But here's the thing. The thing is those 4 interceptions, 9 times out of 10, you probably gave more possessions to the other team. So if you give them more possessions to the other team, regardless if they're scoring, tick-tock, tick-tock, the time is ticking. So all they're doing is just milking the clock. Maybe there may have been a lot of field goals and stuff like that could have possibly transpired, but they actually had 3 actually great touchdowns. But my thing is with all, not a walk-off field goal, when I think about Seattle having all of these field goals that they was making, whenever you have a team that keeps scoring, because Matthew Stafford threw 2 touchdowns, and then they had a running back, Kyler Williams, that also scored another touchdown. That's 3 TDs. If you ain't really scoring on your side, you better be lucky it was only 21 points, because Seattle actually has a defense.
Right.
But you can't afford to have 4 turnovers. So that was just the thing. I know he's going to have one of those type of games. It's just unfortunate.
It's just, it's good to have it now at this point in the season. Whatever lesson there is to come out of that, like whatever reads there are to make an adjustments that are going to be made, it's so important to get those adjustments out now. Because that's the part of Sam Darnold's game that has people a little bit on edge, is the fact that every now and again you can have a very high turnover game where it doesn't really look to be a lot of, in-game management. Normally, like if he has a game, it's a game.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of good that you have strategically placed moments of adversity a little bit before that postseason comes. So maybe you can now take those lessons and learn a little something like, hey, you know what? I was really anxious, I was really rattled, or I was really outgunned, or I was really whatever. Whatever was allowed, whatever happened, whatever error happened between the receiver and the quarterback, those things can be fixed now before you get to the postseason where it matters most. So some losses aren't always as bad as they seem. You know, especially when they shine a light that, oh wow, this is a big time contender. And even with those 4 turnovers, we gave them 4 extra opportunities to get in the end zone, and we still were able to hold them down. We really got something special. The defense is really like that, like that. So man, if we patch these holes on the offense and make sure that shit don't happen again, who knows?